Hey guys, welcome to That Florida Feeling. How is everybody this week? I hope it's been a good week. If you celebrated Mardi Gras or Fat Tuesday or Ash Wednesday, I hope that you enjoyed yourselves. If you're doing Lent, awesome. I applaud you. Thank you to everybody who interacted with the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok pages. Y'all are awesome as always. A lot of people really don't care for king cake. And I don't know. I guess I didn't realize that king cakes were such a big thing. I mean, when we lived in the Panhandle, they were huge because you were only a couple hours from Mobile and New Orleans. But, it seems like now, everybody wants king cakes. So, I mean, I don't know if it's a thing now or if it's catching on or if people just realize that these cakes aren't that bad. I like the cinnamon ones or the ones from Gambino's out of New Orleans. But yeah, if you ever get the chance to try king cake, just try it. I mean, basically you eat one during Mardi Gras and whoever gets the baby Jesus gets a year of blessings. And yeah, it's cake, so it's good. Today we're going to talk about a cool topic, and it's actually a topic that I've had a lot of requests for, and it's one that I find super fascinating, but I've never really actually done. Today we're going to talk about metal detecting. And for those of you who asked about metal detecting, you know who you are. You're going to have to tell me any fun spots you find. I know that people wanted to talk about, because in Florida there's a couple laws around it, and we're going to explore all that today. And I didn't realize just how much quite went into metal detecting. I mean, it is a really cool hobby. It can be an expensive hobby, and it can be a very fun hobby. And of course, metal detecting isn't always about finding lost treasure, digging up diamond rings, but it's kind of that thrill of the hunt. What are you going to find today? What is going to be under that beep? And in Florida, it's genuinely possible to find anything and everything, including that treasure. You can find anything buried beneath the sand, in the mangroves, or even out in an orange grove. You never know. It's that thrill of the beep and the hunt and connecting with other cool people who really enjoy this hobby. And this is a really cool hobby. I'm kind of sad that I haven't gotten into it until now. Metal detecting is super fun, and you can use many different types of metal detectors, from large ones that you see people sweeping over the sand to the little handheld ones. A popular one for Florida is the one that involves pulse induction detectors because of the saltwater environment. Apparently, you have to use different types of detectors based on the environment you're searching in. Again, I had no idea of this. So, pulse induction detectors is apparently better for Florida. And of course, you use your headphones to listen to the beep and then drown out that noisy environment around you just to hear the beep. Fun fact though, I realized this as I was researching this. You can actually rent metal detectors to play around with one for a few hours just to see if you like it. And there are a lot of places in Florida that you can do this. You can actually Google to see where you can rent one from in any Florida city that you're in. It's super popular on the beach. I know that living in Clearwater, we would see people with them all the time on the beach, and St. Augustine. And so I understand that this is why people do this fun hobby. So, of course, in order to metal detect, you will need a metal detector, whatever kind you choose. And then once you're equipped, you just need to start. You just need to go out, and you can even search your backyard just to get started, to get used to the equipment and the beeps and see how you like it. And we're going to talk about a few tips to get you started. I know that when searching, it's kind of one of those, okay, where do I start and what did I search? And one successful way of searching is to use a grid pattern so that you don't miss anything in the area. And so you make the grid mentally or physically, however you want to do it, and you just start working the area with small steps and large sweeps. So you want to hold your metal detector kind of out from you over the sand or ground, and you want to make large sweeping motions. Just as you hold, you're going to hold it, barely over the sand. And you'll be surprised what you find. Some metal detectors are so good, they can find a small coin as far as 12 feet down. And you can also look at, different metal detectors depending on what you want to do. If you want something that picks up certain kind of metals, it can hone in. I didn't realize just how cool these machines were until doing this research. The ones that find small size coins as far as 12 feet down, that amazes me. And of course, where you look depends kind of on what you'll find. So of course, if you're on the beach, you might want to start at high tide because the sand is softer and easier to dig and sort through debris. Of course, if you're in your backyard or you're roaming around a field, first of all, make sure you have permission to be there. And secondly, it really just depends on what you're looking for. So if you are doing these things and you are searching, you want to have tools with you. Of course, if you're in a field, you want to have a shovel. If you're on the beach, you might also want to have a shovel. You can also use a sifter to sort through any sand or loose ground. Although the sifters are really cool, especially on the beach, because you can also find some really cool shark's teeth or shells. So, just because it's not metal doesn't mean it's not a cool find. And of course, you can also find a lot of things after the large storms or the hurricanes. Anytime there's a lot of wave action, it really does move things around. I'm sure even this long after Ian and Nicole, there's probably still some really cool finds not far below the sand, especially on the East Coast where Nicole hit or kind of was beside. The waves tend to bring up a lot of shells, so if you see an area with a lot of shells, then you might want to go there because who knows what else the waves brought up. Could be anything from coins to jewelry to... You'd be surprised. A lot of things get lost in the ocean or on the beach. I also recommend going late at night with a flashlight or early in the morning so that there's less people to contend with and less noise. Metal detecting is one of those things where you're kind of in your own world. You've got your headphones on. You're just listening for that next beep. You wonder what you're going to find. And you don't need some idiot running in your path or asking you 40 questions about what you're doing. So late at night with the less traffic, early morning with the less traffic, I think that's probably some of the better times. So now we know what we're going to use. We're going to use a metal detector and we kind of know when to go. But where in Florida should you go? And I didn't realize how many internet forums and sites that were out there for different people to look at for metal detecting in different areas. I'm going to talk to you about a few today, but I did not realize just quite how big this community was. And it's a really cool community. I was reading some of the sites, and one of the cool things I did notice is that people are always interested in other people's finds and that they're always excited for other people when they do find something. So I think that's really cool that it's a nice community. It's a happy community. It's, you want others to be successful. And I think that's really cool. So a couple sites today. I will say first, make sure that when you do go and hunt that you need to know if you're allowed to be there. That's the main thing. Do not get arrested. And do not cause any damage. Those are a couple of the main things. Don't get in trouble for somewhere you shouldn't be. And fun fact, in the state of Florida, objects that are more than 50 years old are state property and are illegal to remove. So, if you find something that's 1770s, you're not going to touch it. Or you're going to touch it and you're going to tell somebody about it. If you found something that's 10 years old, by all means, finders keepers. Another thing about Florida is that any of the waters next to the national parks, it's just illegal. The moment they see you, you will get in trouble. Don't even try it. It's not worth the effort. Now, Florida does have so many state parks that you can actually always start there. And of course, each state park is going to have its own rules and regulations, so just kind of keep that in mind. And of course, the parks include beaches, forests, and other natural areas that you can always hone your skills or just take a walk in the park to see what you find. And you can use metal detectors in most of the state parks for the most part. The parks have designated areas that allow them. Coastal parks actually do allow them between the water line and the top of the dunes. So, high tide hits, high tide to the dunes. But just always make sure that you check with a park ranger that you can actually use it. Don't get in trouble. Now, you cannot use them in any of the state of Florida archaeological sites unless it's authorized as part of a research project. You can use them if you lost something at the site, but you will have to be under park ranger supervision to re-find it. I think one of the cool places that I saw was Little Talbot Island State Park. It's a fun park to explore with metal detectors, and they require it only in certain areas, but it's been opened up. They've kind of opened their, the area that you can search more. It's bigger now. Stay off the dunes. Dunes are always a no-go. Just do not in the dunes, not in the waters. Other than that, you're, pretty good. Now, of course, the national parks, monuments, and seashores, And the lands in Florida that are federally run by the National Park Service, they do not allow metal detecting. So you're not going to go through the Everglades with a metal detector and find fun stuff. You're not going to go to Castillo de San Marco in St. Augustine with a metal detector and think you're going to be digging up the ground. Because, first of all, if you do it in St. Augustine, you're probably going to find bones. And secondly, you're going to get caught very fast and get in a lot of trouble. So while you probably would find some stuff, just don't even try it. Now, I did look up a bunch of different places that I could share with you guys. And there's actually a lot more than I realized. So I'm just going to kind of give you ideas that include cities and counties of places that you can metal detect in Florida. Okaloosa Island, you can do it on one of the beaches. It's got a designated beach. In Panama City, do it on the beaches, but don't use a metal shovel or dig holes bigger than 2 feet. Also, remember, if you dig a hole, fill it back in. That is not your home. Do not mess with the turtles. In Pensacola, it's allowed, but be careful not to cross onto the national parks or the seashores. And I know a lot of that area, there is a lot of national park area and the Gulf Island seashores. So Pensacola is a go, but maybe not worth it. Amelia Island, you can do it on the beaches. St. Augustine, you can do it on the beaches, but you can't do it at Anastasia Island State Park. You can't do it at Fort Matanzas. You can't do it at Castillo de San Marco, and you can't do it at the Matanzas Estuary Research Reserve. So, if you're out, like, near Ponte Vedra, by all means, go for it. Flagler County, you can on the beaches, but watch out for turtle nest. Fill in all your holes. Ocala, you can, but it requires a permit. You can actually apply for the permit on the county website. So, I'm sure when you apply for the permit, they'll tell you the exact places that you can and cannot go. In Brevard County, you can in the county parks, but not near playgrounds, athletic fields, or any protective lands. I don't really know what that means. But so basically, if you're in a county park and you're not near a playground and nobody's playing soccer on it, and you don't see that it's a historical site, I guess by all means go for it. In the Daytona area, you can on the beaches, but not inland. So only on the beaches in the Daytona area, but you cannot do it at New Smyrna Beach or Daytona Beach. So if you're like near Ormond, I'm sure that's probably an okay area. If you're in Martin County, like Stuart Jensen, you can as long as you don't remove the natural elements from the beaches or the park. So basically, you're not going to dig up trees, you're not going to dig up the dunes, you're not taking, wildlife with you, and of course, please fill in all your holes. In Pinellas County, you can use it on the beaches. I have seen it. You can only use it on the beaches, not in the county parks, but that's actually a super popular place, and especially at Clearwater Beach. Indian River County, you can on the beaches, but you cannot remove the natural elements or use anything bigger than a small scoop or a hand trowel when digging. You must fill in the holes, and you must stay off the dunes. Fort Myers and Lee County, metal detecting is permitted. That's all they said. I guess just go for it. Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades, you can't do it in the Everglades. You can't do it at the inland parks, but you can do it on the beaches. So if you're in Naples, you're near Laudermilk Park, go for it. Inglewood, you can on the public beaches. In Sarasota County, it is allowed, but you cannot harmfully disturb anything. So basically, if you're doing it and you're going to dig a couple inches down to find something, go for it. You can't start digging a hole enough to find a boat. Monroe County in the Keys, it is permitted. Just watch the state park waters and the national parks. Palm Beach County, you can, but you must leave the areas you found it. If you dig a hole, you must fill it in. So a lot of places in Florida really do kind of allow metal detecting. I guess they know that it's a great hobby and it's a way to promote tourism, and you can find some really cool historical artifacts that you will turn into the state. But a lot of places actually do allow it. Now, a few beaches definitely to check out in Florida that are great for metal detecting. I found a lot of websites on this, you guys. The beaches on the Emerald Coast in the Northwest Florida, they're great. Apparently, for metal detecting, people usually find a lot of stuff there. And apparently a lot of cool shells. Panama City Beach is actually a huge hotspot for metal detecting, and I couldn't figure out why until I started reading some of the threads. Apparently, the sheer amount of people on the beach means that you're going to find something, because people lose things at the beach all the time. Just keep in mind about the metal shovel rule. So just take a plastic little tiny shovel or something with you and just go for it. Jacksonville Beach, they have 22 miles of beaches in Duval County, and you can metal detect on just about all of them. Check out Jax Beach or Atlantic Beach first. Again, same thing as Panama City. More people, more stuff to lose, more stuff to find. Vero Beach is actually really cool. Vero Beach is one place that I do want to metal detect. The beaches around Indian County and St. Lucie County were the scene of one of the largest shipwrecks in Florida history. The Spanish had multiple galleons go down in 1715, and occasionally you can still find debris from these shipwrecks. And especially Nicole, she churned those waters. So, I mean, you could find a coin from that wreck. You could find who knows what. And especially Vero Beach is also a great spot for people to go. So, again, people lose things. But, I mean, I would put Vero at the top of my list solely because that's the reason it's called Treasure Island or Treasure Coast. Apparently, I'm thinking of Treasure Island. I want to be a pirate. The Treasure Coast is the Treasure Coast for a reason. People have been finding treasure along that coast since the 1700s, thanks to these shipwrecks. And that was actually also a popular place for ships to get shipwrecked, thanks to hurricanes blowing them into the Florida. So, I mean, that whole entire, like, Indian County, St. Lucie County, even as far down as Martin County, I would be willing to try there first. Another place is Wabasso Beach. Wabasso is just north of Vero, going towards Melbourne. It also had a ship sink off its coast in 1698. It's a well-documented place. And people have continued to find, trinkets and coins. In fact, in February of 2020, someone with a metal detector found a dozen silver coins. I don't even know if I'd put Vero at the top of my list. I might put Wabasso. So this is another place. Again, lots of Spanish galleons, lots of shipwrecks. Who knows what you're going to find. Another place is Sebastian Inlet. Again, Sebastian Inlet is very near Vero and Wabasso. And again, another well-known place to find treasure. Actually, it's where one of the largest treasures was found. A large cache was found in the 1980s. Kind of another reason it got its name, the Treasure Coast. And, of course, people have been hoping for the same success ever since. And, I mean, this was a huge cache. It was, I want to say it was millions. I'm looking it up right now. So, give me a second. Because I saw pictures of it, and this was huge. Let's see here. Yeah, it's actually amazing. It doesn't give an exact amount of how much was found, but yeah, and so the history behind the reason this is the 1715 Spanish fleet was loaded with treasure, and it encountered a storm, i.e. a hurricane, and the treasure was lost. And it's estimated that only a portion of the sunken treasure has been found, and they valued that treasure at over $500 million. So, if people keep digging up this stuff and keep finding this stuff, who knows how much is still out there. And again, this is the Vero, Wabasso, and Sebastian area. So I definitely think I'd probably be putting this towards the top of my list if I was actually gonna do metal detecting right now. I think that this would be one of those top places. It's the Treasure Coast for a reason. One of the next places is Cocoa Beach. If you've ever been to Cocoa Beach, you've probably heard of Laurie Wilson Park. It's one of actually the top and nicest public beaches in the area. I've been there. I love it. And you can actually go during the off season. So it's about to be season. Be warned. Low traffic on that beach is perfect for metal detecting. People have found anything from historical artifacts to jewelry to money. So who knows what you're going to find. Again, Laurie Wilson Park is another visited beach during the season. So who knows what the sand is hiding. Surprisingly, Siesta Key on the West Coast is a good place to hunt treasure. People talk about the shipwrecks off of its coast. Siesta Key is also rumored that pirates might have hid their treasure there. Jose Gaspar is one of those pirates. Blackbeard gets named every now and then in Black Caesar. So Siesta Key may be a cool place to metal detect. You never know what you're going to find. This one got me, and this one got me for many reasons. South Beach. Biscayne Bay, that area. South Beach in Miami is a place where many Spanish and British ships actually have wrecked in the past. So a lot of the shipwrecks in Florida are in the Keys, near Miami, and up near the Treasure Coast. So anywhere in that's from the tip of the Keys up the East Coast halfway is probably a good place to metal detect. But South Beach is good for many reasons. They have a lot of people there. South Beach is always busy. It's always full. So I'm sure you could find anything from, the 1700s all the way to modern day jewelry. That probably wouldn't be a bad place to hunt. I do know that they have a lot of regulations, so just double check them before you go there. Now, general rules. We've talked about how to do it. We've talked about what you're going to do it with. We've talked about where now. But let's keep in mind some rules as we do this. I mean, first of all, we don't want to hurt the earth. We don't want to mess up Mother Nature. So, first general rule is kind of stay out of the water, salt or fresh water. Don't go on private property. Don't even think about the national parks. Don't go to Miami expecting to do it because a lot of it is illegal. So if you can do it on South Beach and you get that permission, go for it. Or just don't get caught. Also, don't be rude. And follow the code of ethics for metal detecting. Yes, there is code of ethics for metal detecting, and I thought this was really cool. This community has come up with these codes of ethics to keep people from ruining places or preventing others to go back. So basically, the code of ethics: fill in your holes, don't litter, don't destroy things, don't trespass, obey all the rules and guidelines. Anything you bring in, you take back out. So I thought that was really cool. Now, if you find something like a watch or a bracelet and it's newer, it's finders keepers all the way, unless you're in Orange County. Anything in Orange County, so I'm talking the Orlando area, you must report what you find. So check your local guidelines to make sure about any other finders keepers rules. I'll be honest, if I found some massive jewelry, I'd probably want to turn it in, because if I was the person who lost that, I'd probably want it back. So, you do you, but just keep in mind stuff like that. If you find something older than if you find something super old, just call somebody. Make a note of where you dug it up or accidentally dug or start to dug up. They found that whole ship, under Daytona Beach. And so, you're not going to take something like that out. But if you find something like, say, some coins or something that's older than 50 years, it's archaeological at that point, so you can't really take it with you. It's state property. Obviously, also, if you find human remains, you need to report it, and you need to stay there until authorities arrive. And you can find so many people who are interested in metal detecting. Most of the time, there's even local clubs. There's actually a ton of local clubs in Florida. I didn't realize that until I was doing this research. A lot of bigger cities, and even smaller cities and counties, have their own clubs, and they'll help you with the guidelines. They'll tell you some good places to search. They may even have groups that go out searching together where you can make new friends. Surprisingly, visitflorida.com, the website, has a whole page dedicated to metal detecting, and it even lists groups in different areas of Florida where you can learn about places, ask questions, meet new people, and join a group. I think metal detecting is an awesome hobby. I think it's really cool now that I've researched it. Thank you to those who requested this topic. I kind of can't wait to get into it. Just be sure as you do it, you need to respect people, places, and Mother Nature as you do so. Don't ruin it for everybody else. Don't be that person. Now today, we're going to actually talk about a Florida man, but it's not our typical Florida man. And it's actually kind of a cool Florida man. And it's a metal detecting story. Today's Florida man is out of St. Augustine. Florida man found a $40,000 ring while searching on Hammock Beach and returned it to its owner. So that's really cool. That's why I say about the jewelry. If you find something really nice, I'm sure someone's looking for it. If you lost something like that, I'm sure you'd want it back too. So if you do go out and have fun, obey the rules. See beautiful, amazing sunrises or sunsets if you're out at different times. Meet new people. See parts of Florida that you weren't expecting to. And if you guys do go metal detecting, I want to see your pictures of your finds, of anything you do on the white sandy beaches in Florida. So tag me in them. Tag me on Instagram. Post them to the Facebook group or pages. I can't wait to see what you guys find. I hope that you all enjoyed this episode. It was actually really fun. It was requested by multiple people, and I hope that I did it justice for you guys. Thank you for requesting topics. If you have more, send them to me. Again, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, email address. Find me. I would love to talk to you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and review to keep the podcast alive and moving. If you have a second, I really would appreciate a review on Apple or Spotify. I appreciate you all. I really do, and I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. It was actually almost more fun for me to research this, and I hope it's a lot of fun for you to hear it. I hope everybody has a great week. Stay hydrated, wear your sunscreen, and guys, and as always, that's your daily dose of sunshine.